Next month, I'm going to do this little,
Ooh,
it's not in color yet. My goal was to have it painted for you. I got this far.
Yeah.
ooh, the sky.
It's
Yeah.
really going to be fun. Just these little sand dunes. And that is the sketch you will get to transfer to your paper. And it will be up on the website soon if it's not, it's already up there for you to sign up for.
Ooh.
So anyway, just so you know, online doesn't matter, but in person, we only have room for one more person. So if you want to come, jump in. You guys get first dibs. This is a boar bristle fan brush.
What size is
Put
it?
it in the thing here. And actually, I probably should, well, I'll pin that later. It's really kind of stiff. We're going to be using one of these in class next month. I'll put it on the supply list for you. And we're also going to need just some scraps of watercolor paper. So what I do, well, is when I have a painting I couldn't use, I just cut it up into little pieces of paper. Then I can use the backside for testing color swatches or doing little demos and things like that. We're going to need just a piece about this size, 4x6, 5x7, just a piece of scrap old paper. All right, let's get started. I know some people are still sketching. Don't stress. This is the version. Oh, perfect. Now this, I don't know if you can see the difference, but
Looks like nylon.
this is a synthetic brush. It's nylon. It's very soft. This is stiff. It's for hair. Pig hair.
Is that for doing the grass?
It is. Yeah.
Mm.
Smart. Okay.
Sue, what
So
size
you
is
can
the
try that. Yes, darling.
what size is the Grumbacher bristle fan brush?
This is actually not my Grumbacher, and this is a little larger than I would like. I believe it's the number 3, and
Okay.
the stick, not the stick, the handle is orange. And if I
Okay.
get more info, I'll send it out to you.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Okay. Yep. All right. I am going to pin my demo. And girls, if you need anything, don't hesitate. Just shout out. Okay. So let's pin this for everybody. Wow. We're going to use a permanent rose, a sap green, a cad yellow, and an ultramarine blue, and a cerulean. There are 5 colors. But having said all that, guys, you do not need to use the exact colors that I'm using. Honestly, how many different colors do tulips come in? And if you and I buy the same variety of tulip and I plant them in my shitty shady yard, excuse me, did I just swear?
No.
It was simply an alliteration. And if I do that and you put them in your beautiful sunny, they're going to look different, right? When you bring your flowers into the house and you set them in a vase, depending on the lighting in your room, the colors are going to look different. So don't stress about it. A pinky red, maybe a warm red. And so what is your process? You just squeeze out.
I haven't done watercolors in years. So
Well,
that's nothing.
let me just give you a tool that I think will help you.
Okay.
Some of the ways that I mix my colors, you won't be able to do in that
Or
little well.
even like
So
watercolor paper. Yeah.
yeah, I know I
think
have
I've used that in the past.
palette.
Yes. I think I might have had one at home.
Set around so people won't be shy. And thankfully we found out before we headed out. Okay, I'm back, girls.
Sue,
Yes.
could you please just repeat the colors that you're using so that if I do
Sure.
have them, at least I can use them?
Yeah, perfect. We're gonna start with cad yellow, permanent rose, and some cerulean. If you don't have cerulean, you can use Antwerp. You can use manganese. Just it's kind of a slightly greener blue. And then we're going to use some sap green and we're going to use some ultramarine blue. So really 5 main colors. We might pop into some brown at some point. All right. So I'm going to begin by mixing my color. Check this out. This is how we mix our watercolor pigments. You dampen your brush, you dip into that well, and then you go to your mixing area. So you want to develop that habit of always going from your well to your mixing area. Whoop, that's in my coffee. Yeah.
You dip in your coffee.
Yeah, that keeps my personality interesting. All right. So I've thinned that color back quite a bit. Watercolors, we want to go from light to dark. We lighten our colors by adding more water. Those of you who've been studying with me for a while, I just made a mistake. I haven't even started and I've already made a mistake. Anybody happen to recognize what it was? Oh, that's not good. That's really going to be a problem. How did that happen? Huh. Hello.
what-
I forgot. I thought you were joining us online, hun. Oh, okay.
What color
no, that's
are,
fine.
what
Please.
color are you
hop in.
mixing
I'm
right
gonna-
now?
I'm going to ignore you for a few minutes. Hey,
I'll manage.
Janice, did we take back your 5x7 or hers last time?
For 5x78, that's mine, yeah.
So I'm going to hand you a piece of paper and a pencil and you can transfer the pattern. By the way, everybody, this is Laura. This lovely lady is Laura.
Thank you.
And Laura, you want to say hello to our women online? Just wave. Hello. Who's online? We have
Hi.
Cherry and we have Victoria in the middle. Okay.
And what color are you mixing right now?
Oh, I was asking you what mistake I've just made. And I bet you Laura will know. Laura, I just asked them to mix up 3 colors, red, yellow, and blue. And I started with red. What did I do?
Yellow. Started with yellow.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's the
I was thinking
point.
that.
Yes, absolutely. Yellow is the weakest color when you're mixing multiple colors and one of them is yellow. Always mix the yellow first. Thank you, guys. Hansa, yes. Is it?
Are you mixing them all together? Won't that make mud?
Good girl. Okay, that's wonderful. We are fine. We are in such good shape.
Can I share water? Yes.
Oh, I've got plenty. I'll get
Yeah,
you some more.
I don't mind sharing. That's
And you
wonderful.
can slide right a little more.
Want me to go a little more? Okay.
There you go. I will make sure this isn't in your way. Nope. All right. Nope. Slide left a little more. I'll get you some.
No, I do better in person.
Well, that was my assumption and I do apologize for squeezing.
No,
you
I
in, Laura.
apologize for being late.
I know, we used to just always have, it's so true. Oh, God, yeah, yeah. So yes, we always had 7 people at the table. And in desperate times, we would get more people and I would just get another table. So since these are small paintings, we could squeeze in a couple more if you guys don't mind. All right, very nice. So you have mixed up a puddle of yellow, a puddle of permanent rose, and a puddle of a cerulean or manganese or some greenish blue. All right. What we're going to do today, well, the way we're going to start is with a modified wet into wet underpainting. You guys who've studied with me for a while have seen me many times just wet the paper, drop in the colors, do that. And we always ignore all the sketch lines. In this project, we're going to modify that. Now, one thing I also want to point out is that you want to have a horizon line on your painting. And to get that to be straight, what I like to do is just take my piece of paper. It has to have a straight edge. Line it up. We want that horizon line to come through those lines and not dissect them in the middle. And it's very likely that you caught that on the sketch that I sent, but in case you didn't, just go ahead and get a nice little horizon line down there. We're only going to be painting the top portion of this. And for those of you who are here with me in person, if you would like to stand up and come stand behind me as I'm painting that, you are most welcome to do.
Sue,
Yes,
would you be able to point the camera at what you're doing?
you should see that. I pinned it.
No, I
You guys
don't.
don't see that? That's very strange.
No, I do not.
I'll try it again. Let me try Spotlight. How's that?
Oh, I see it in the small thing.
That works perfectly.
All right.
Okay, okay,
Annette,
now,
Victoria, hover
Yeah.
over my picture of my demo, and
Yeah,
you'll
I
see
see it
3
now.
little spots appear. Click on those 3 little dots and select pin or spotlight.
Well,
Is
I'm
that how
saying
you
it
did it,
now. I'm
Sherry?
saying it now.
You have it now?
No, I have
I
it.
have it now. Yeah.
Yeah, okay,
Super
good,
duper.
good.
I'm going to do a modified underpainting. And what I'm going to do is start with a flat brush. This is a 3/4 inch flat synthetic. And I am simply going to paint around my flowers. Now, when I get into the detailed areas, I'll probably switch to a round brush, but this flat brush will really carry a lot of water for me. And I want you guys not to paint right now. I want you to just watch as I'm doing this demo. There's a couple of reasons for that. One of the reasons is there's a number of steps that I need to recite to you. The other one is that sometimes I make mistakes. And if I paint first, then I've kind of most of the time figured it out by the time I let you paint. And I go, oh yeah, don't forget to do this. So I've got, can you see the shiny where I've got the water? So now I want to bring that water in more around. And I'll use a little bit of tinted color just so you can see for the sake of demonstration. I decided to add a little smudge of pink in the middle, right there. I saved that. I didn't like that there was a dissection of green in this particular sketch. So if you notice, I'm modifying on the fly here. I'm just going right around those pencil lines with a little bit of water. And I'm also going to go right through my vase. I will not paint my limes with this underpainting, and I will not paint my blossoms. Hopefully you can see how dry they are. Now that I've got the paper wet, I know that it's already starting to dry along the outside edges. So I'm just going to take a little more water, and I'm just going to make sure that I have nice even saturation across the paper. I'm going to start with my yellow. I'm going to lay some yellow in. I do not want dots. I do not want stripes. I don't want you to come in and paint it into the paper. I just want you to set that color down onto the water that's on your paper. And then I'm going to take some of that lovely little pink, forgot the inside, and I'm going to take some blue. We don't want to cover all the white of the paper because we want to pick our colors up and introduce them to one another and let them soften and create beautiful, beautiful softened colors. Believe it or not, these colors will almost be seen as the white of your paper by the time we get all the other darks in there. So yes, you're free now to go ahead and do your underpainting.
So wet it first.
Paint everything except the blossoms and the limes, and only above that tabletop that we just created. We finally got to the fun part, guys. Angles, it's really hard to see my sketch lines in here. I think I put in a few too many lights. So I'm going to work on the lighting in these videos. I have already recorded this. You all will receive a copy of this recording. And typically it's just going to be the Zoom recording, but this month, because I had technical difficulties last week, it's already up on my learning platform. So I'll send you an invitation to join that and you'll have access to it. It's all edited and it's broken out into different sections. Your sketch is there. Both sketches are actually up there. One's under bonus material. You know, when you mess up, try to make it a positive. Bonus material. Oh, wow, that's awesome. All right, let us mix up some ultramarine blue.
I don't know which is which.
It's kind of, all right, if you look on the screen behind me, see this greenish one? That's the one we used already. We're going to use the one that's got a little more red in it. I guess I would call it true blue. Maybe royal blue.
French ultramarine.
Yeah, that'll work very well. So you will see tubes of ultramarine and you'll see tubes of French ultramarine. One of the properties of watercolor pigments is its ability to granulate. And ultramarine blue is one of those that kind of pits, you can kind of see the granulation in it when it becomes dry. French ultramarine is heavier with that granulation. So if you like that kind of look, pick up French ultramarine. If you want to lessen some of that in your paintings, then just get regular ultramarine blue. I'm going to begin by creating a shadow. If you want to come over and watch me, please feel free. But I will tell you step by step what I'm doing, and then I'll set you free to do yours. Watercolor pigments will go wherever your paper's dry. So as we're painting, what we're thinking about as watercolorists is where can I work now that it's not going to creep out into those other areas? I'm pretty safe here. I'm going to start casting my shadow under those limes, and under my vase, and I'm going to drag it down this way. I really don't have to worry about hitting that back area that's still a little damp. I'm going to start by just picking up a little bit of this color. It's slightly richer than the first colors that I mixed up. I'm going to create the bottom edge of that lime, come down here, come around the bottom of that, and then I'm going to switch the position of my hand. I'm going to hold it pronated, and I'm going to use the belly of the brush to drag some of that color out. This is a dry brush technique. And it's the way I like to do my shadows so that they're more abstracted. Then I'm going to come back in and charge some of the colors that are in my painting. Otherwise, I definitely want to get some green down under those limes and a little bit of pink. That's step 2. Step 3 is I'm going to clean the brush, tap out just the extra water, and I'm going to tickle the edges down here just to soften up just a little bit more those shapes I created. All right. So I'll walk you through it. You should have already mixed up a little bit of ultramarine blue. Yeah, that's perfect. You can thicken it a little bit more. And then you've got a little bit of that pink, the yellow, and the first blue left over. So take your ultramarine blue. I'm using a number 10 Sable Synthetic Blend brush. You want a fairly good sized round brush. Holding my brush like a pencil, I'm going to pick up the color and I'm going to start dropping it and outlining the base of my limes and my vase. Maybe about a 1/2 inch thick, but not outlining it rigidly. I'd like it to be a little more abstract. I'm going to immediately switch the position of the brush in my hand, and I'm going to drag some of that color down toward the right and off the paper. Here you go, guys. After I've completed that step, I'll clean the brush, pick up a little bit of the pink, charge it in there. When we take wet color and put it into wet color, that's called charging. Charge in a little bit of the yellow. Colors bounce around in a painting, and if they don't, they really should. I think it makes the painting more interesting. So once you've softened those bottom edges, hold it this way.
Yeah, I thought I had
Okay.
already done that.
Okay, but
yeah.
you want to maybe soften that.
Oh, yeah.
'cause you
oh,
don't
still
want it
hold
to
that
look-
way?
Yeah, you don't want it to look like it's an outline. You want it to be a little bit more interesting.
Okay.
Then charge in a little bit of the pink, a little bit of the yellow. Then clean your brush again. Take out the extra water. We're not doing this, guys. We're not drying the
Oh.
brush. We're just getting rid of anything that might drip. And then we're going to tickle the edge of that hard edge we put down and soften the paint, soften it out a little bit. Go for it, whatever you want. It's all good.
I made these look like flowers that fell.
Can I see your sketch just a moment? Yeah, that's fun. So we want to come right up under our limes. So you've got this lime sitting right on the edge of your table, and I think we're just going to modify that a little bit so that we have,
So I can turn those into limes instead of what I thought was
oh, blossoms.
blossom.
That's perfect. Worked out nicely. Yes.
I have space between my lemon.
Yep. Can I see that?
Should I fill it in?
Yep. And do you mind if I demonstrate on this?
No.
All right. Can you see behind me? Can you all see it?
Yeah,
Okay, thanks.
I can. see it.
So I'm just going to go ahead and tuck that space between them. We'll tuck this in here. And then what I really want is I want this edge to be not a hard edge, not a completely hard edge. See how I've softened it? So that's where this tickling that edge with the tip of the brush, taking the belly of the brush and dampening the paper underneath. Not all of it, but some of it. So it becomes more of a lost and found edge. Anytime we see that hard edge you had, the brain is thinking, what is that? What are they describing to me? Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Now, how is everyone doing? That's great. That's beautiful. Good work. Lovely. Beautiful, beautiful. Okay. I will warn you again, every painting goes through an ugly phase. You're getting there. Things are just going to start looking like a kindergartner came in and started playing on your painting. It is a part of the process of a painting. And I walk around and I say, oh my God, that's gorgeous. Also, you always say that. And I do, but it's only because I know where it's going. And that just takes years of being able to suck it up and hold your breath till you get there. I just made a hot mess there. Well, we'll deal with it later. All right. Feel your top of your paper. We'll first look at it. Is it shiny? If it's still shiny, then it's really wet, right? If it's, yeah, it's still a little damp. So you look at it, it's not shiny, then you touch it. Is it cool to the touch? If it's cool to the touch, it's definitely still damp. We are going to come back in and glaze over this original underpainting that we did, that modified underpainting. And we're going to glaze with that greeny blue. Or we can even use this blue. It really doesn't matter. We're going to take a little bit of orange and mix it in. This is what I was telling you about my palette. I love to mix my colors in a chain. So here's my blue. I'm going to drag in some of my red and some of my yellow. That's how we get to the orange, right? What I'm trying to do is modify that blue. I don't want the blue to be so bright. I just kind of want a gray muted background. So I'm just mixing all the colors on my palette until I get to something that I kind of like. So I get to draw from here and pull it in. I can draw from here and pull it in, or I can draw from over here. It gives me a lot more control over the colors that I wind up using. What we're going to do, just so you know, and I'm going to demonstrate this for you in just a minute, I'm going to start painting on the right-hand side, and I'm going to cover everything I just put down. Because of the transparency of watercolor, those colors will still kind of glow through, make it a more interesting background. My goal is to have this side be darker than that side. I want
The light.
to suggest that that light that's coming through from the left, because that's what I said when I put my shadow down. I said light's going to go that way. So I want to paint this very darkly or moderately darkly. And when I get over to here, I'm going to start adding water and softening it down. You can watch as I do this, and then I will set you free. So
Kind of a bluish. is what
it's
you
a
said.
muted blue. The complement to blue is orange. So I used a little bit of yellow and a little bit of white to create.
Red.
Thank you. Where did white come from? I don't even use white. Oh my gosh. And then I'm just going to paint around those flowers. Now check this out. This is what you guys need to know. I'm coming right through the middle of my bouquet. I'm painting around anything that's going to be a pink flower or a stem. When I get about this far,
So you're
I'm
covering the
picking up
leaves?
water. Yes, I did. And I'm just going, I did not clean my brush. I just picked up water and I came back and started painting with water. I'll add a little more pigment to it now. But essentially, all I did over here was use what was left on my brush and water.
So you're painting over the leaves again?
Yep, you can paint right over your leaves. You just put a little too much orange in. Janice just said, oh, it's brown. What did I do wrong? You just had a little bit too much orange. Let me demonstrate this for you one more time, guys. When you have your colors set out on your palette, try to keep your colors relatively pure. My pink is over here, my blue is over here, my yellow is over here. When you want to combine colors, slide them together. I call this a chain of color. Now I can get all kinds of mixtures that relate to one another. And I'm looking for a muted blue-gray. And that works for me there. Rather than taking your blue and taking your orange and mixing them and then getting more orange and mixing that and then getting, you're just going to make this huge.
That's what's going on.
That's what happens. Yeah. Okay. All righty. We talked about painting in islands. I would love to come back in here now and base in my roses or tulips rather, but I can't because this background is still wet. I do feel, however, that I might be safe down here with my limes, or we can start painting in the ellipse. I'm gonna gamble and go with my limes, and all I'm really gonna do, guys, is base coat them in. So I'm gonna take a little bit of my yellow, a little bit of my blue. I'm going to ignore the sketch lines. And I love to paint with a variety of colors, so I'm just going to charge a little bit of that darker, anything darker, right down at the base. I've painted both limes as one object with a light yellow green, and then I just came in and charged some of the darker color that's on my palette into those limes. That's giving me the sense already. Can you see it on behind the screen behind me?
cool.
Is that easier? That's giving me the sense of light already, just simply laying it in there. Before I put my brush away, I'm going to clean it, take out the extra water, and I'm going to lift where that lime is going behind into my vase. I want that to be lighter.
Oh, it's behind. Oh, yeah.
It's behind. Yeah, it is behind the vase. How do we know it's behind the vase? Which one is lower? Which one's closer to the bottom of the paper? Whatever's lower on the paper is closer to you.
Mm.
And I'll pick up a little bit of my messy mess.
You know, I have all these lines here. Can I just go over them?
Yeah.
Will I be able to get rid of that later?
Well, it'd be easier here
do.
if you'll pass it to me. We'll try and do
Yeah,
it
cool.
now.
That will be. Because that'll give it a nice little extra color there.
There you go.
Thank you.
Okay.
Mm,
It was just a yellow green, and then I charged in some darker gray blue. Some of the muck I had over here. Yeah, there you go. That's lovely. Beautiful. We're just starting to suggest form by using light and shadow. Speaking of shadow, you know, your shadow is not done. It's been laid in and it's an interesting shape. It's got some interesting color in it, so you're in good space. But we're going to come back and darken it and refine it just a little bit. All right. Yeah, I know what we're going to do next. All right. All right, good. That's great. And you can just let those, don't over push
I
it. Just-
always-
Yep. And yours is creeping out just like mine
Oh.
did too, but I kind of like that. If your limes are creeping out into your background, can you see that? Yes. Then you can just take a dry or slightly damp paper towel and
Yeah.
just blot at that a little bit.
Sue, would you recommend starting to, did you mix the green using the yellow and blue that you had on
I
your
did,
palette?
right here on my palette. Yeah, you can't
Okay.
see my yellow, sorry. My yellow,
So,
I just kind of smushed. I mean, this is a hot mess in here, but these are the basic colors we're using, right? So
okay.
I just keep drawing, and when I need to, I'll just replenish some of the pure color.
I didn't know if you used like a sap or something.
A what? A sap? I did
Yeah.
not. Did I use
Okay.
sap? I've been known to use sap, but I
well,
don't think
yeah,
I
there
did.
was- In the beginning, we
Okay.
had. some-
We listed it. I'll make some right over here in case I need it later. And I'm also going to put in some more of that ultramarine. Those are those 5 colors, the ultramarine, the sap, the cad yellow, permanent rose, and cerulean-ish. Cerulean-ish, it's a color.
It's a new one.
It's a new one.
It's a new one on the market. You can only get it through Sue Dion.
Yes. All righty.
Got hair.
Oh, ignore it. If you get a hair in your painting, just ignore it. Let it dry. When it's dry, you can just wipe it right off. All right. I want to talk to you guys a little bit about your stems. So I'm going to lecture for just a moment. Here's my vase. Inside my vase is this thing called an ellipse. It's basically, if I were looking down into my vase or a bucket of paint, that's what I would see. As that moves away from me, that circle flattens out. That's called an ellipse. So stems 101. When your stems come down into your water, they will be rounded at the base because they are a rounded object. When you're looking at your stems in your living room in that vase, it's probably flat. Well, Mother Nature has the gift of 3 dimensions and we don't. We're working on a flat surface trying to describe a world that is rounder. So we have to use whatever tools we have available to us to suggest those shapes. Stems should never be straight, please. And the most interesting thing you can do is cross some of your stems over one another. What we need, Mary, are negative shapes. Was that you that put that, or was it it was you? I hear students tell me all the time, oh my God, I can hear your voice when I'm painting, Sue. Yes. Oh, variety of color. Variety of color. Anyway. Oh yeah, it was Paulette. She was the first one to respond and she said, negative shapes. You need more negative, more interesting negative. Does anybody want more wine? Because we used to drink wine every night. Okay. So we want to make sure that we're crossing over some of our stems. We want to make sure that our stems are coming into the water at varying heights. Some of them are going to be closer to us. Some of them are going to be further away, i.e. some will be further down the paper, some will be higher up. And that's how we show that they're closer or further from us. So when your stem hits the water, it will jump. No scientists are going to be coming in and looking at your stems. Don't freak out. If they don't match up, they should not match up. The reason for that fragmentation is because light passes more quickly through air than it does through water. When it hits the water, it slows down and that makes your stems jump. So if you can get that in there, people will be wicked impressed with you. So here you go. That's what we're looking for. It's all about,
No, she knows
yeah.
all the scientific.
there you
words,
go.
I'd be like,
So go ahead and sketch a few. You do not need that
oh,
many.
sketch.
You've got some already suggested in your,
It's in the original one, yeah. Oh,
yeah. I'm gonna just maybe do this, get some of this over here, put this guy up here, and then get a couple down in the water. If you could cross one over, I'll come by and give you a gold star. Actually, I've really got to buy some of those. Something relatively simple, guys. We're going to obliterate most of what we're putting in there, so don't overstress. Now that I've worked so hard to create this little drawing, I'm going to take my eraser and lighten those pencil lines. I can't tell you how many times I've gone to the trouble of sketch stuff, and then I don't even paint where I put the sketch anyway. So lighten those.
You're using your creative license.
I surely am. There we go. And honestly, guys, I'm using 20 plus years of doing this. And when I do it and you look at it and you go, oh, how did she do that? Well, she did that by repetition. So if you really hate your drawing, just keep doing it. It's kind of almost counterintuitive, but that's just the way it goes. All right. Good work. Good work. That also,
Italy.
Italy. God, I can't keep up with you. Okay. I'm going to paint the flowers. And this is so simple, you don't even have to watch me. But what I really want you to do is thin that pink down and then just slap the color in there. Ignore all of the sketch lines. Try to pay attention to the contour lines, because if you overlap, you'll see that where you came out, you can just see it.
Oh.
Yeah, but it doesn't really matter. Like if you paint that doesn't look good. So try to stay in the sketch lines or just blot at them. I do want my colors to kind of connect a little more than they did in the original, and that's why I stuck that little bit of pink in there. All right, keep it nice and light, and guess what? Check this out. Can you see the screen behind me? I want some of that pink bouncing around in my
Nice.
vase.
Nice.
In my vase, I'm going to come back and soften some of it. That's lovely, if I must say so.
Oh,
Yes.
exquisite.
Isn't that? Yes, that's the word I was looking for. I added one. I added a couple. I just had my way with this. So sorry. This here, you can see on the screen, I just popped just a little bit of pink that doesn't even make any sense. But I wanted to join those two masses. Do you see that, Mary? I just popped a little pink in the middle, just to join those two masses. We are not painting individual flowers. We are smushing the pink everywhere.
Good.
Later on, I can come over it. It's going to be darker, so it won't really matter, even if you just go right through the middle. As long as it's going to be greenery there. All right. I completely lost my. If you lost your leaves, you can feel free to put them back in. I don't know where they're supposed to be.
I can see my.
I'm getting myself into trouble with these leaves again. I can see that.
Yes.
Good God.
Text-
All right. Very good. Very nice. Now I'm pushing you. I'm pushing you now. We're going to go in and do our stems. I'm going to take some green and some yellow. Now watch as I do this, guys, because there's a step I want to show you. All right. It's not anything too ridiculously special, but a couple of things I'm doing that I just want to point out. I'm switching up the color on my brush. Sometimes picking up a little more yellow, sometimes picking up some blue, sometimes picking up some green. I want there to be a nice variety of color in there. There's another stem. Now what I'm going to do is take my flat thirsty brush, dampen it, nice chisel edge. I want the stems to be behind glass. So I'm going to lift, and as I'm lifting, I'm trying to show the shape of that glass. So my lift is going to be like a little smile.
Oh.
Yeah, and then we'll get a little lift up in the
Where it would
collar.
meet the water.
It's where light is bouncing off the glass vase, so I can't really see through. It's a reflection. So it gives me the effect of light coming through that vase.
Yep. They have painted the stems and
And then I lifted them out with a thirsty brush. And get this up here for you two on Zoom. Look up, Victoria.
Yeah.
You can
Oh,
see
yeah,
where I've
yeah.
lifted.
Yes, I do.
Okay, good.
I'm still,
No
I'm
worries.
just
Don't mean to push
finishing up
you.
my flowers.
Just reminding you, if you didn't lift where that lime is going behind the vase, you might want to just lift a little off that at this point too. Nothing has to be done in the exact same order every time.
and green went down here too.
Yep, green hits your ellipse and then it continues down below the ellipse. Once you've painstakingly created all of those little stems, you're going to come in and mutilate them. Never let them see you sweat. By the way, guys, I don't know if I've used one of my Rosemary and Company brushes today. They are a really nice sable synthetic blend. And just so you know, I am an ambassador for this company. So if you put my name in there, you're supposed to get a 10% discount. Just so you know. I think recently, because of tariffs, sable brushes can no longer be imported into the US. There is a company in the US called Jackson's Art Supplies. They sell Rosemary and Company brushes, and at this point in time, you can still buy the sable brushes from them. We'll keep you posted. I've got my finger on the pulse.
Why sable brushes? Why not? I don't know,
Synthetic.
bombs.
Yes, I know. All the guns you need.
Yeah.
As much cocaine as you can handle.
But you
But
can't have
no-
a brush.
No sable brushes. It's a valid point.
I used to buy this truffle cheese at Wegmans
Oh,
and it stopped coming because it wouldn't go, Something
Uh,
happened in customs, they wouldn't let it through anymore.
Oh, that's a shame.
Yeah, it was delicious.
Geez, I have some truffle honey upstairs. If I haven't pitched it, you're welcome to it because I didn't like it.
I don't know how I feel about truffle honey.
Yeah, I hear you. Well,
You did 2 lines?
I did 3, which was really very kind of amateurish because I did one down here, one in here, and one up in the neck of the vase. And it's kind of subtle. It doesn't really matter because we're going to be putting more color in there and we're going to be lifting out of that color as well
Mhm.
once we get the darker colors in.
I couldn't go up in here because this is still wet.
That's fine. That's not a problem.
Okay.
All right. So we've got that. We've got that. Lime's dry. Limes are dry. I'm going to do some details on my limes. And what I'm going to do is take that darker blue, add a little bit of green to it. Huh, maybe I should have dampened my brush first. Okay,
I'm back at these aren't wet, so nothing will come up.
that's all right. We'll soften on the next one.
Okay.
All right, first thing I want to do is separate these two. I kind of joined them as one shape. Now I want to create the little end of that lime. Is that what a lime looks like? Something like that. I want this guy to be behind that guy. That's all that dark shape is there to do. It's to tell me this guy's behind that guy. Once I get that dark in there, I'm going to clean the brush, took out the extra water. I'm going to soften that out. And sometimes I like to leave just little random hard shapes on my objects. I don't like the way that's looking, so I'm just going to modify it a little bit. Yeah, that'll work.
It's kind of like,
I made that lime a little bit bigger and this lime a little bit whatever. And then I'm going to do the same thing right behind where it's going into the vase and underneath on that other side. So that's the second shape. First shape, second shape.
Can you,
Same technique. I'm going to clean the brush, take the color out or the water out and soften it. Now, if you're much more particular than I am in your personality, you may want to draw that first and then paint around it. But, I'm winging it. I might even come back in here and just soften that little shape between those two lines just for fun, just to see if I like that. Sometimes I like to lose an edge. And if I don't like the edge being lost, I can come back in and reestablish it when it's dry.
okay, I got
Yeah. They're limes. Well, in my world, they could be lemon. So I did those two shapes with probably a number 6. It's too old to tell. A smaller synthetic brush. I find synthetic brushes really keep a nice point. So when I'm looking to do details, I'll usually grab a pure synthetic brush. Where I find that the Sable synthetic blends carry more water and pigment. So I use that for the bigger washes. We'll be dancing later. It's such a cheery little phone ring.
Yeah.
All righty. Don't overwork it. You're
Yep.
just setting in shapes. I'm going to now, with that same brush, take a little bit of that dark green blue, and I'm going to get the base of my stems where they're going into the water. And then you can see that. I'm going to soften that color up the stems. So I just made the stems a little darker where they're going into the water. So Fran, I just put a little bit of that dark at the base of each of the stems where it's going into the water.
Okay.
And now I'm going to do the same thing underneath. Just darkening some of the stems where they're coming up to the water or where they're going behind another stem. So I've laid the color down, I cleaned my brush, took out the extra water, and I'm just softening those colors out a little bit. I'm going to add one more stem. I've got one here who doesn't have a companion. Good enough. All right. Ah. All right. Good.
I don't know. Everything's too wet.
Let it be. Walk away. We're going to go up into our flowers. And I'm going to decide which flowers are closer to me and which flowers are further away. Can I have that original, please? And actually, I've got the print also. There's several versions kicking around here. I think I like this one. I love the looseness of it. See how these flowers just aren't even developed? All of these guys here, you know, they're very soft. I think that's what I want to set back. So I'm just going to take some thin color and I'm going to paint around the flowers that I want to be in the foreground. And maybe I'll set this guy back a little bit too. So what I did was I darkened the flowers that I feel I want to have set back. And then I'll just come back and lose some of that edge. I left a little, you know, stupid little shape on there. I like those. It just suggests something's going on. And while it's wet, I'm going to charge just a little more color here and there. That charging color in gives you some nice soft shapes within the ones that we just darkened. I'm going to darken this little middle one too, make him a little less important. Yeah, that'll work. Couple of darker shapes in the center. And this, I know this is two blossoms up on the right-hand side. So I'm just going to darken one of them to go behind. I don't want them to be the same size. So I just darkened a little less than half or a little more than half of this.
I must have a different picture than you.
You do.
Yep.
Yep. Sorry. Yours will be more original.
I don't know. I copied what you sent.
Yes, I sent out the wrong one. We had a conversation about that early on.
What
Yes.
I get for being late.
Well, that's not your fault that I sent out the wrong things. All right. Gonna walk away from those tulips now. That's lovely. Soften some of your edges. When you put an edge in, don't keep them all hard. Soften a couple. Save one or two, but all right.
Is it supposed to be a shape, like when you?
It's
did that?
here.
Not really.
Okay.
Yeah, I wish I could give you more information, but then
I
you'd
like
be
how
able
it
to paint
looks
as
more
good as me.
abstract.
Yeah, save that for her, just to be able to see. Yeah, and then there's here these as well, if that helps, wherever you need to see. And feel free to rip it out of somebody else's hands for yourself. Just for, you know, return it at some point. Good.
Yes, yes.
That's the one you have.
composition you
Good.
have, Yeah.
So you should totally keep that. Well,
Mm-hmm.
all right. I'm going to come up and do some of my greenery. I'm going to mix up a little bit of sap green. And I'm going to grab a little more of the ultramarine blue. This is again that chain of color. I'll just introduce the sap green and the ultramarine blue. And on the other end of that chain, I can introduce the yellow and the sap green. So I've got that nice little chain of related colors that I can jump right into as I'm painting my greenery. So there's my chain.
What was the third color?
I used cad yellow, sap green, and ultramarine blue. There you go. Good. Looks great, Jane. I'm going to start painting my leaves. So I'm just going to, and this leaf I changed the
That's
shape of.
Lighter color.
I started with the lighter color. I didn't paint the whole thing with it. I'll come back and add some of the darker color here and there. Edited the shape to make it just what I felt like doing at that point in time. I'm going to get the stem in here. Wished I'd used more of a lighter color on that, so I'll charge some in.
Mm, and I've got all
Second
those
little
extra
stem
ones,
there,
So I have.
another
to
little
put some-
stem here. You've got extra?
Well, I've got all those extra leaves that are,
Yeah, I'm going to put a little leaf in here too. You should have seen the look on my face when you walked in, Laura. I was like, oh, what did I do?
I told you I was on my way.
Oh, I didn't get it.
That's
So
okay.
I came down here to teach on last Thursday night, and I was trying to set up in the afternoon and I had no bandwidth, and ultimately I was not able to teach the class online. So I went to Verizon and had to get a new phone.
oh,
Oh,
Those of
Oh.
you who are joining me online, take a look at the camera and I will show you guys in just a moment. I don't like my leaves because they're just all one-sided. I feel like I need a little representation of green over on this side. This is what I was just describing. And I think it's especially because I've got it almost dissected right in the middle of the paper. So I'm just going to add another leaf coming out on the other side. And honestly, if you paint a watercolor painting and you can paint the exact same painting more than once, then you need to come back and spend more time with me because it should be interesting and unique. The first time I painted that stem, that leaf, it was exactly like this leaf. It was like the mirror image. So I blotted it up and I created a stem that was a bit more unique. Always thinking about the spaces between things, those negative shapes. If they're interesting, then your painting will be interesting. I also like the way this little leaf is kind of pointing down to the limes now. It's like, hey, look at this. Isn't this interesting? Don't pay any attention to those stupid flower shapes that I didn't do well. Come look over here. All right. And I may regret this, but I'm actually going to pop a little bit more green in here as well. There, that works for me.
So the dark side of the leaf should be the same as the dark side of the flower.
Well, that would be, yeah. Yeah, except that that's not the direction the light's coming from. So when I darkened the flower, I was darkening what was behind something else.
Oh, right.
And maybe I darkened a little too much. We can come back and lift with a damp brush just to keep it interesting. You want to think about that direction of light a little bit. All right,
What are you lifting?
I just lifted a little bit of that back
Ah,
flower up there. This one right here. Okay. That's fun. We got to get some blue into our water. I'll just give you, everybody seems to be frantically trying to keep up. So I'm going to stop talking for a minute.
take a sip of tea. Yeah.
Yeah.
I need more yellow in these leaves.
Yeah, cadmium will sit right on top for you, so that'll be nice. Nope, be ballsy, get a little more on there. Sorry.
Yeah, I think they're pretty wet.
There you go. So here's a couple of things I like to do in my vases. Can you see behind me, Sheila, or do you want to walk over here? It's not that big a deal. You know how I talked about this ellipse on the top of the water right there? I shouldn't have outlined it, but I'm just going to go ahead and soften that a little bit. Don't need it. I like to mirror that right down here at the base. I like to put just a little bit of a reminder that we will see the ellipse at the bottom of the vase too. So I'll often stick that little ellipse down there as well. And then, you know me, I'll come back and kind of obliterate a lot of it. We're going to do that. And we're also going to start two schools of thought. I know that things that lay flat receive more light, right? That's like landscape painting 101. As things begin to stand up in your paintings, they get darker and darker, the values, because they're receiving less light. This ellipse is receiving light, right? So I often make the ellipse the lightest part in my vase. However, you could make the argument, hey, all these flowers are blocking the light. The top, the ellipse may be darker than underneath. You will see examples of both. I tend to come in under my ellipse, woo-hoo-hoo,
Real dark.
with just a little bit of, and I create these little wedges, and I especially darken the non-shadow side. And I'm almost suggesting the shapes of other stems and things in this water,
Pretty.
right? I've put the color in. What am I going to do next?
Soften. the
Yeah,
edge.
well, I've got to get the sense of that reflection back.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
One more. We're going to come right up into the neck, come down under that ellipse, grab some of these shapes, put a reflection in. Good enough.
Yep.
They're really a bunch of little wedgy triangle shapes. I don't want too much there because it's in my light side, but I would be able to see that background through there. So I might get that in
That's a
just to
big-
show the backside. It's the same color I put on the
Mhm.
background in the first place. I've saved a little highlight along this left edge, and I've saved my ellipse and the top. We can even come back in and darken that. Oh, yeah. Lost and found. Don't give me everything. Soften some of it. Good.
Can you hold that up?
I surely can.
Very pretty.
All right.
It is.
And for those of you at home, mostly just little wedges right along the edge of that ellipse, a little bit along the back edge, and then under the neck of the vase. Saved just a little highlight along the left edges. Ow. I'm going to edit the shape of this. Hopefully to something I like. I think what I don't like is that it lines up here, but that's a problem for another day. And yes, tomorrow morning you may wake up and take a look at this and go, oh, I really need to do this or that. And that's what's going on in your paper is not exactly the same as what's going on in mine. And those are just some additional changes that we may make after a day of reflection. Like maybe this could come out on the other side of that. All right.
Can you go back? When I was watching them, I forgot my next steps.
Okay. So we did these little wedges with the blue, right?
Oh, down
Under the
below.
ellipse,
Under the, where the highlight will be, right?
under where the, exactly. And then we did some along the top of the backside of that ellipse. Okay.
So there was the bottom and then bottom of the base and then the,
Yep. And then now clean your brush, Janice, take out the extra water and soften those shapes down. We don't want like Morse code coming across, right? All this hard edged stuff.
Yeah.
We need to come back in and modulate some of that. And then we'll probably come back in and put a couple more stems back on top. So I paint things and then they get kind of obliterated. And then we can come back and reaffirm some of those shapes if we feel like we needed them and we lost them.
and then you did the top, along the top ellipse, you did blue under
A little
that.
bit behind, yeah, here and there.
My ellipse is empty though. Should I paint some of
It's
that?
very pretty. We darkened the stems where they went in. I wouldn't yet save it. It's really pretty. Later on, you can get some reflected light like the pink in there and maybe some of the green on top. But yeah, for now, I wouldn't even touch it. I want to make sure that my limes are truer and purer in real life than they are in the reflection. So I'm just going to add a little bit more color to that lime where it's coming up to my vase. I really want to get a sense of that lime going behind the vase and then just the slightest suggestion of it inside the vase. Notice how I saved that little highlight right
I don't
there,
have it.
showing the edge of, well, when I just put this in, I strengthened that.
Can I see that?
Mine's way into.
So here, you are going to do the opposite.
Yeah, because I have.
Here, Janice has a situation where her lime has now come in front of her vase.
Mhm.
Very, very simple to fix. I'm going to take a damp, thirsty brush and I'm just going to
You meant
lift
to do that.
Yeah.
where it goes behind the vase.
So you just.
And
took
it's
it off.
creeping down here. So we need the lime to be higher up on the paper. So I'm going to try. Oh, you know what we'll do when we come in to do our shadow? We'll just deepen the shadow there. But we can also just trim that guy back a bit. We want to make sure that lime sits behind the vase. Let it dry and we can reestablish things like that. All right. Here it is. So when I decided to add some greenery in here, it kind of all creeped into my flowers. I really don't mind that, but for the sake of my viewer trying to figure out what in the heck is going on in there, I'll just come back and reestablish some of that as more of a shape that makes sense. And if you don't like it, just blot it. Come back and try it again later. I'll just blot that. All right. Might have to bring that right out of my composition, but it's a little wet, so it might not work.
Yeah, mine's floating around in there.
Yeah, we'll just make that what that's supposed to be. Good enough. All right. Where are we going next? I want to work on your shadows a little bit. I really want to darken the shadow underneath my limes and also underneath my vase. I'm going to take that ultramarine blue and I'm going to add a little bit of orange to it. Set it right beside it. So I'm making really a dark gray. And I'm literally going to paint that dark gray. This is the cast shadow. I'm going to come around that lime only halfway. Come to the next one, get into my vase. Take that nice dark color. Just like earlier, I'm going to switch to a pronate. I'm going to use the side of the brush. I'm going to soften that shadow in. Just getting rid of a little bit of that nauseating blue. Taking a damp brush now and softening that gray out. Cool. Now my little openings are opening up into that blue underpainting that we had.
Pretty.
It's like blue, green, blue, blue, green.
It was ultramarine blue with orange and I made a gray out of it.
No, that's not good.
Here, try this. It's on the brush.
Okay.
Have fun. Nice. Good. So this technique, and I think your brush is a little small for it.
Yeah.
We're going to try to use the point of the brush to pick up the paint.
Yeah.
And then smush it with the belly a little bit.
Got it.
Okay, that's very lovely.
Yeah.
Did that work? Here, let's see. And pass me your painting, please. So what we need to do is get this shadow to go under our limes.
Oh, all the way over there.
And remember, we had to edit that because we wanted it to
Yeah,
go
that
back a
was
little
it.
bit more. And then so it's a three-stepper.
Nothing at all.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Masterful.
Oh,
All right. We got to get some details in these poor flowers. I'm going to use some richer permanent rose. And I've got this one tulip here where the stem is coming into the back of the tulip. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to darken where that stem is coming into the flower. Just like a little outline. Really stupid looking, right? Then I'm going to clean the brush and draw that out into the shapes that you might see on the back of a tulip. I've put the color in, I've drawn it out, and then I can soften some of it. And then I can pump a little more in at the base. Now it looks a little bit like the bottom of a tulip.
hmm.
I'm going to darken the one that's below it. I drew some of those shapes out, and then I came back in with richer color and just tapped it in. Those are some bright little tulips in there. I'm just going to pass this around so you can see the shapes that I left as light. That's great, Laura. Good. Soften those up.
I hope we have to remember they dry lighter.
Yes.
I think that's. If I start too light,
Yes. But that's fine. Building your darks is a really good practice. Don't worry about being too light.
suppose it's better to be too light.
Yes. Yep. That's very pretty. All right. And I'm just going to teach for another few minutes. I hope you have enough time. You will receive an invitation. I don't know if it'll come from Sudayan Art or if it will come from Rozuku, but I do have this project up there. I'm not even sure which version it is. I think it's the corrected version, the one without all the leaves. Good. Those look lovely. Those really do. You're fine. All right. Let's deal with this hot mess on the left. If you cannot see what I'm doing, feel free to hop up and stand behind me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make this flower hanging down. And first thing I'm going to do is darken the inside. I want to make it look like a tulip. I'm going to leave that white edge, right, to separate it from that flower. And then I'm going to make the inside kind of orangey. Lighten that a little bit, get a little more yellow in there. Does it look like a tulip? Maybe
Yes,
if it did
it does.
that. Yeah, a little bit, I
does.
guess. All right. And then maybe I'll try to make this guy look a little bit like a tulip too. We'll just go this way on him.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm going to let this dry, but I'm also going to put a shape on this guy back here, even though he's pretty far back. I'm just going to pretend we're looking into that tulip. So do you see those little dark shapes I've made? This one I charged a little yellow into. That one I didn't even come back and soften, or that one. It's just looking into a tulip bud. Okay. Well, the tulips are pretty. And I want to do just a couple of things to my water, but I'm going to let you guys finish those shapes that kind of describe the tulips for us.
I don't think mine are tulips.
Well,
It could be whatever they are,
We
right?
must have the same picture.
we'll do posies.
Yeah,
I think
right.
this is- See, I think I have the same picture you have.
Yeah, similar. I've got this wayward leaf over here.
Oh,
Yes, no, she has the other sketch. But you've got that painting, so just look at the painting and
That
take a
one there.
picture of it before you go.
I'll get this negative area here. I don't-
I've got to give my vase a little more structure, guys. I don't want to overdo it, but I'm going to take some of that blue and put it into that gray that I mixed. And I'm just going to go ahead and sweep some darker color on the top of my vase. That's scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm going to throw that in there. And I'm going to put a little bit underneath as well. I just felt like everything was kind of competing a little bit. Going to
What-
darken it on the edges. I'm just throwing in some darks on my vase. Reestablishing that shape.
Well, I should take a picture of this too, yeah.
And I'm going to take some darks and pop them into my greenery here and there. Do you see the little bits of detail?
Contrast. Yeah.
Just a little bit, it got a little bit wishy-washy, and then we can soften some of those shapes, but we can make this leaf turn on itself and be darker in the back.
Yeah, and when you finished, I'm gonna take a picture of that, because that's
Yeah.
what more what I have here.
Cool. Beautiful. It's really nice.
Oh, that wasn't my point. I was
It's really pretty though.
just
Yeah,
trying to.
it is. It
Yep.
is.
Thank you.
Yeah, you can't try to make it.
And when you outline something, don't leave the outline, make it a shape.
All right.
Just come back in and soften, sorry.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Now where's, oh, okay, so this is the back. So here we're describing the back of the ellipse. So we want to bring this down. That ellipse should be rounded. That's good enough. And I like the little highlights you left. Very pretty.
What time is it anyway?
It's time to go. I'm going to take a little bit of smush. I'm just going to get rid of some of that white that I had back on my table. I just put this band of color right here because the white was too, it was just this big shape jumping out at me. And I'm like, what? As the viewer going, what is that? I'm just toning that little section of my tabletop. And the very last thing I'm going to do is mix up like a black. The easiest way to get to a black is to take the ultramarine blue and some Van Dyke or burnt sienna.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to put some of those little darks that you see inside a tulip. If they were peonies, they'd be ants. No, I'm kidding. Soften up some of those. Yeah, helps them bloom somehow. All right.
Kill the ants of mine.
Darn it. I just pushed a little more color into my vase, but for the good or the bad of it.
Oops.
Now, if you're like not happy with your definition, could you pass me that painting,
Which
Laura?
one? This
Thank you. Thanks, Jane. Yeah. What you can do, oh, this isn't the one I did it on. It's not that
Was
one
this one?
either. Yeah. There's one more original, but I'll just go ahead and demonstrate it on this. You can take a Sharpie and you can reestablish some of the shapes in your painting, like this is supposed to be a tulip here. So I can use this Sharpie to kind of create some of the details that I may have lost. And if you are going to use a Sharpie on your painting, I really want you to exaggerate the wiggliness of the lines. Don't try to get in there and outline everything perfectly. Make it intentionally a little bit loose, because that's what this technique is all about.
Well, I can see my pencil lines way too well.
That's another reason to do this, because it
Yeah.
will kind of cover up your pencil lines.
Instead of
Right.
doing that.
So anyway,
Yeah, this
using the Sharpie can be a nice fun way to add a little bit of pop and detail to your paintings. When you are signing, please do not sign down on the bottom or along the edge. You really need to leave enough room, because when this gets into the museum, it's going to be in a mat and a frame.
Oh,
I did.
Get up in a million-
Pete, I use a Sharpie or,
I know,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm
Oh, with
cheating.
the signing,
yeah,
the secret to me using a script liner is, number one, you need a lot of water in the wash that you're using, whatever color it is. I use my little finger as a pivot so that I can keep the brush almost perpendicular to the surface of the paper, and that's how you can make finer lines. So just practice. It's a weird little thing, but
yeah.
actually, it'd be really nice to do these little Sharpie lines with your brush instead of with a Sharpie. Sure.
Yeah.
That'll help you to stay loose.
Yeah.
Okay, so here are a few renditions of this particular